California. It's round 2 of the 2018 America's Rugby Championship with the United States taking on arch rival Canada. A warm welcome to you from the Golden State for the 59th clash between these two nations. And despite Canada leading their head-to-head battles 38-18, they have not defeated the USA since 2013. I'm Dallin Stanford, joining commentary by former USA Rugby captain Brian Vizard. And this ARC is exactly what we needed here in North America.
The America's Rugby Championship was created in 2016. Each team plays 5 matches in the ARC. The tournament has served its purpose in providing much-needed games for 6 countries in the Americas and in developing a lot of young players in Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Brazil, the U.S., and Canada. The rivalry between the U.S. and Canada dates back to 1977. Canada has the overall lead in the series, but the U.S. is 6-0-1 in the last 7 meetings, including the 52-16 Eagles victory in July, which clinched the berth for the U.S. in the 2019 Rugby World Cup.
Round 1 saw very close tussles. The U.S. hosted Argentina in Los Angeles, and Canada took on Uruguay in Vancouver. Bryce Campbell on the line. Still advantage for the United States. They go to the far side. It's the big unit scoring yet again. Tony Lamborn. They pick and go for the line. They're over. Argentina. Rodrigo Bruni has put it down. They want to go upstairs and Henke Kambersijs. He's dropped it. The whistle touches the lips of Asmus. Then it's full time here.
Tries to lose for Van der Merwe, swinging it to Blevins. Blevins looking for the corner. He'll get there. Blevins in for the try. Canada has life in the 71st minute. Now it's good. 4 on 3. Blevins, Harris, just beyond the reach of Hassler, and that might have been it there, Gareth. That was there for the taking for Canada.
Time now for a short break, and when we return, we'll have all the action from this epic North American battle. Stay with us, rugby fans.
The ARC is brought to you by UL, empowering trust in a complex world.
Risk and uncertainty are growing in global markets. Complexity is the problem. Trust is the solution. UL's third-party testing helps unlock the power of trust. Trust to drive certainty in the world's most complex markets. Trust to increase confidence in safety, security, sustainability, and success. UL, empowering trust in a complex world.
For round 2 of the America's Rugby Championship, with the United States looking to keep their unbeaten record intact in this tournament against neighbours Canada. Soon you will see the captains leading them out. Sacramento native Blaine Scully on the right of your screen. The honour of leading out his side. 37th cap for him. Meanwhile, Phil Mack earns his 47th cap for Canada. Scully switches from fullback to fullback for this match. And both these sides are extremely fired up for what will be a very, very physical battle indeed.
Yeah, they are always very physical, and that was one of the points that Gary Gold made talking to him earlier this week. The United States have to up their physicality. They know this Canadian team is going to be ready for this challenge. They got to meet that challenge and dominate the physicality.
Well, we're going to go field side for the national anthems for Canada and the United States.
West High School's very own Air Force Junior ROTC. Senior Rifleman Cadet Captain Leon, Junior Rifleman Cadet Captain Velez, American Flag Bearer Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Lala, Canadian Flag Bearer Cadet Senior Airman Rosettes, and Air Force Junior ROTC Flag Bearer Cadet Major Naidu. Singing today's national anthem for Canada, please welcome Shreya Sharma.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy white, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And now, please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America, performed by Tawana Porter.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, it's always one way to get you fired up for Test match rugby. And the crowd have come in here and they're thousands to support these two sides. The Canadian team, head coach Kingsley Jones, he's got a fairly young squad with some seasoned veterans in his team as well. They've got a fair amount of caps, 350 caps in the Canadian side. That's 150 more than the USA. And this is the US team right now.
Yeah, looking at the US team, Tito Lamosatelli did well last week against a tough Argentinian scrum. The back row of Lamborn, Hermashais, and Dolan put in a full 80-minute effort last week. Dylan Audsley making his Test debut today. Skipper Blaine Scully switches to fullback today with Mike Teo, another who did well last week against Argentina. Moving to the wing, looking for win number 2 is Eagles coach Gary Gold.
And that's Audley right there, ready to put his first cap. That experience you spoke about in the Canadian pack starts with Ray Barkwell, and then look for Lucas Rumble on the flank position. And debutant Luke Campbell makes his first start for his country. The key will be 9. Phil Mack leads out his side. And then Nick Blevins and Giuseppe Dettori will be dangerous in midfield. Canadian coach Kingsley Jones is excited for this one.
Are you ready, yeah? No,
so ready for round 2 here. Francisco Gonzalez has the whistle. It's Canada against the United States. An epic battle here. Canada on the right of your screen will kick off here in beautiful Sacramento. There is a strong breeze. We will go sideline a bit later to Dan Powell to see how that will affect play. The USA in white receiving this. America's Rugby Championship round 2 underway. The US have a chance to get this first. Ball spits loose, and Marius is the first man to touch this for the men in white. Titi Lamosatelli, 280-pound front row forward. Settles things up as Nate Orsberger gets his box kick up. There is that wind to speak of. Goes towards the touchline, and it's bounced in and out.
Yeah, nice little touch finder that time by Augsburger. Up and under was perfectly placed just inside that line, and that wind's going to create havoc. The United States certainly has to take advantage in this first half with the wind at their back.
Number, please.
Ray Barkwell will get this first line underway. Barkwell, one of 2 players signed with the Seattle Seahawks in Major League Rugby. The other one is Phil Mack, playing at 9. They go to the top, taken beautifully there. Rumble's first touch. Line-out drive. Gets a metre or 2. Barkwell looks up his options. Flat attack. Straight into the fray comes Nick Blevins. 47 caps, 2 tries for him. Georgetown Fry, Canadian player. Ball still available there for Brock Staller. Beats a couple, gets a beautiful offload away. Canada attacking from well inside their half. Matt Heaton, and from Atlantic Rock, involved in the play, and now Larson, 23-year-old, the most recent Canadian cap, number 448 for the Maple Leafs. Strong contact there, Luke Campbell. First touch for him in international rugby. Into play by centre 3/4. Blevins involved yet again. And it's a big charging train. It's Justice Sears-Duru. He gets the ball stripped free, though. Unlike him, the US have a chance on the far side. Anko Khamases drops the shoulder. Always lights up the crowd as well. It's Tony Lamport, the try scorer from last week against the Argentina 15. Now they bring the Lighthouse involved. Nick Savetta, very impressed with his play as well in the set piece. Horsley shifts it across the line. Big, strong tackle coming in, and Joe Tafate'e. It's DTH Fundamava in his 50th appearance. The big, strong hit early on as Cam Dolan takes it to the ground. His father flew in to surprise him here. Terry Dolan's in the crowd. Looping around there is Khamases. Working in pods are the US. Numbers around the breakdown, and now Lamborn up wide. Pass gets knocked down. So McGee fires it back in field to Dylan Horsley. St Mary's Gale hot step up, takes it over the halfway line. Tafatea just signed another 2-year deal with Worcester Warriors in the United Kingdom. McGee spots space out wide. It's Phil Mack covering. Mack has to play this, was Teo in front of him. Dolan misses one. And now it's Fundamava. Good counter-attack there from Canada to get outside their red zone. Up against a stiff breeze, though, so they keep it in hand. Sears-Duru lost one. This time he's solid, winning his 36th cap tonight. Left again, third time in the movement. He comes into the play. Long opening stanza. Canada decide to keep it in hand yet again. They've knocked that on. Coughing up opportunities. Let's go sideline. Dan Powell, what you got for us?
Yeah, Dallin, you mentioned the conditions. It is very blustery down here. USA, they've rolled the dice. They won the toss. They've elected to take the ball and run with the win in the first half, with the hopes it'll die down later here this evening, which is normal. Another thing to watch on the Canadian side, they brought in Henry Paul, dual international, played rugby league for New Zealand, England rugby union cap in the 2000s. He's come in as a new backs coach. Let's see if his influence shows here with Canada this week, who've had some trouble finding the try line against Uruguay these last 2 weeks.
Thank you, Dan. That's certainly something to watch out for. Forsberg to feed the scrum. 4 minutes in, and an excellent attacking platform here for the home side. Ball at the back for Dolan. Forsberg shifts it across quickly. Mattias looping around. They don't need him. Bryce Campbell for the line. Gets his pass away, and then just knocked on from Mattias. So, exciting start here from the US.
Oh, it almost looked like Mattias was through, or Bryce Campbell was through, but that pass just a little bit wayward, maybe pushed it a little bit, forced that a little bit too much, maybe should have set that ruck down there just in front of the poles. But it's still a good attacking position here, Dallin, for the United States. If they can keep the pressure on this Canadian team, split backfield for the Canadians. The majority of their players to the right-hand side. Let's see what they do. Looking to get out of danger here.
Canada kept ball in hand with that stiff breeze we mentioned. Let's see what they have now. Phil Mack from James Bay. They finally do put it downfield from Shane O'Leary's kick. Deep into the grandstands.
Shane O'Leary, one of the players that Kingsley Jones, the coach of Canada, said had a really good game last time out against Uruguay. Coming back from an ankle injury, played really well in that game. And again, Canadians going against the breeze here, just looking for any kind of territory they can take up. That was a good scrum last time by the U.S., though.
So the man from Vallejo, California, to throw in. Tafeta, born in America, Samoa.
Hey, go back.
Here for the US. Spoke to forwards coach Sean Pittman. Something in an area they want to look to improve on. to the 22, the US drive. Still going, says referee Gonzalez. Ryan Manis is the first receiver, should they need him. Forsberger just peeks up, see what's going on. Lamborn driving. It's a great loose forward he is. Big Joe. Titi Lamasatelli just trying to suck in a few more forwards. Create a couple of mismatches. Short ball. Lamborn again. Canada compiling in. Numbers to the right-hand side, if they can dig this out, they do now. McGee, the back ball. Campbell, well tackled.
Back. For the side.
And then Osberger dotting down the short side. He'll score the first try of the game. The 7 sensation turn 15 scrum half. Nate Osberger has the first try, and it belongs to the USA Eagles.
What a heads-up play by the little scrum half. It looked like a Canadian player interfered with him, and that kind of froze the Canadian defenders. And Nate Osberger saw that seam on the outside. Nobody in defense, well, one man to elude. Look at Osberger. There's a one chance that Canada had, and he slips by that last Canadian defender to score the first try of the game. Good heads-up play by the little scrum half.
A phenomenal individual effort indeed. US have done all the hard work, working through their phases. And it is the scrum off Nate Osberger, recently signed with the San Diego Legion, formerly with the All Blue of New York. He gets his third try in a United States jump-up.
Yeah, he's put in a tremendous amount of work since this team has been assembled the last couple of weeks in Chula Vista at the Olympic Training Center.
Conversion attempt from McGee, well struck. The breeze kicks it in, 7-0 after 8 minutes here in Sacramento, California, and the US have started very well.
Yeah, a good start by the United States, keeping this Canadian team pinned inside their own half of the field. That's what they got to do, especially with the wind at their back. They got to score as many points as they can here in this first 40 and continuing to keep this pressure on the Canadian side.
O'Leary's kick with the wind has gone out on the full.
So a good decision by Ryan Mattias there. That ball was awfully close. He judged it perfectly. Just a little bit too much weight on that opening kick. Wind affected the United States now with the option at midfield. Looks like they're going to have a scrum here at midfield. United States a little bit of a confidence from that last scrummaging outing against Argentina 15 last week. One of the world powers, obviously, in scrummaging. They held their own, I thought, throughout most of that match.
They certainly did. Scrum stats 4-1. The US own feed against Argentina. Attacking platform left and right. You see Mike Teo wearing 15. It's just lurking behind Will McGee. Scrum though this time comes in thick from Canada. We might as well go down to Dan Power. Dan, tell us about the wind there. It looks very swirly from up here.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot, Dallin. Again, the conditions are pretty blustery. Great little try there from Augsburger. There's been a lot of talk during the week, Dallin, that, you know, Nate, his position at the 9 is in jeopardy. A lot of people pushing for Sean Davies. Good for the little number 9 there to get the try. And that's the start they wanted. You've got to think of the emotional hangover the Canadians are in, not qualifying for the World Cup. This early start from the USA is exactly what they wanted. For Canada, they've just got to get back to basics and get any points they can into this stiff breeze.
We almost lost Dan Powell there with that breeze picking up. The scrum is more solid from the US, getting the hit early on. And Teo down that far side. Now this is with them. Mikey Teo goes against Blevins. Lamborn to help him out. Quick ball for Cam Dolan. Legend at Life University in Atlanta. Lays it up for McGee to attack and plays down there. It's been knocked on by Lamasatelli. Gonzalez has picked it up, but we've got a worry in the background. Joe Tafetia is down.
Yeah, that is a big worry for this U.S. team. A very big player in the scrums for this United States. Also, Nalusi scored 3 tries against Canada in that World Cup qualifying victory in San Diego in July. Cam Dolan scored 2, so 5 tries on the field for this U.S. squad from the last time these two teams faced each other. But that was a much better scrum for the Eagles that last time out. tried that weak side. Mikey Teo, strong on his feet, always gets that ball back for the U.S.
Yeah, this rivalry is thick and fast. 2016 ARC clash, US beat Canada 30-22 in Texas. They followed that up in 2017 with a 51-34 victory in Barnaby.
Yeah, and looking at talking to Gary Gold earlier this week, he said they got to be more physical than this Canadian team because he knows they're going to bring it to them, and they got to improve on defense. So far, they've done well there. In game management, that was the one thing they wanted to improve on. And let's take a look at the standings from that week one. Uruguay with that big victory over Canada, the United States, of course, with the first time setting Argentina 15 in the loss column, and Brazil with that victory over Chile. Those are the top 3 teams in it. The United States looking to defend their crown that they won in 2017. Got off to a good start last week.
No, they certainly did. And we love Hanko, the hand of Hanko that saved the try at the end. Let's go, number 6. They are cheering. These fans from Nebraska have come here to support him locally. Of course, a lot of fans coming out the last couple of weeks, and we will head to Fullerton, California next week for another clash. There, the U.S. will play Chile, who are ranked 24th in the world.
And now talking to Kingsley Jones, the coach for this Canadian squad. Again, they gave up a lot of points the last couple of weeks to the Uruguay. They have to defend better. They have to react better. They gave up 3 soft tries because they were switched off. And Uruguay took full advantage of that. And they need to keep doing well in these sets. They've been pretty happy with the way their sets have gone the last couple of weeks. Want to continue with that trend here against the U.S. today.
Still getting medical attention, bandaging up that leg there from Tafetia. He seems to be all right. The 25-year-old solid unit, social media influencer as well, formerly with Belmont Shore in Long Beach, California, now applying his trade over the United Kingdom. So we're ready for scrum time here. Also want to extend a welcome to our USA Rugby Congress members who are tuning in from Dallas, Texas this weekend. Now they're working very hard there all weekend, taking a quick break to see how the Eagles fare against the rivals, Canada. Phil Mack played on the Sevens World Series as well for many years, did the young scrum half. Now he gets it away, they work the short side, ball goes backward, is spilt, and DTH Fonamava tries to clean things up, but they're into touch.
Yeah, unforced error that time by DTH. You don't see him make many errors, especially one of the most experienced players, obviously the most experienced player on this Canadian team here today. But you don't see him making too many mistakes like that. And talking to Coach Jones, they like him on the wing. Even though he played in the centers most of his career, they think he's going to have even more opportunities on the wing for this Canadian squad. That time that went begging. The United States now with a throw-in. Another area that they've been very good at so far this year.
That's right, 10-1 with their line-out stats last week, and that's another one for them as McGee shifts it across to Campbell. Levens is high on him, brings him down to the halfway line. Tefetia looping around on that other side, and Teo goes backwards. Referee said no, knock that on.
Yeah, difficult pass. He saw Nate Augsburger go to Mikey Teo. That was my bad. A little low, very hard to pick up. Teo almost did. Referee, maybe a little help from his AR, Derek Summers. Called that knock on. So Canada catches a break here. Again, any set piece with that wind against you that you get inside your opposition territory, that's a bonus for this Canadian squad.
So still 7-0, one Nate Augsburger try.
Crouch!
Canada, furthest they've been so far in this game.
Set!
Canadian, 17 of their largest squad play overseas, 10 in the United Kingdom. So we'll see 3 of them in the United States during Major League Rugby as they go to that far side. O'Leary's kick is touched by a US player, and then Mattia scoops this one up. Man from Arizona looking for a counter-attack. They've got Captain Blaine Scully, puts it to the toe. Vandemaver is there. South African flings it back in field. Patrick Parfrey, the 26-year-old, caught.
Run away, White, run away!
Territory gain for the US on that occasion. Looking to stick their tackles on Luke Campbell. Sears Duru off the right foot. Formerly with the Glasgow Warriors. In ball, Vandemaver leaves it behind.
Go to the front.
Yeah, sloppy handling by both teams allowed each to get a relief from some trouble. That time it was a Canadian knock-on for the U.S. now. And again, game management here, using this wind. Don't be surprised to see a striking kick into touch here, trying to get the line out down deep, keep the pressure on this Canadian squad.
So the US, we mentioned, will play Chile next week, then Brazil away and Uruguay away. Some tough fixtures, especially on the road. This competition, 4 points for a win, 4.4 tries in a match. So the US will be looking for those bonus points. Great scrum here from Canada, but Cam Dolan managed to pick it up on that far side. Beats a couple. Dolan certainly saving things at scrum time there. Matt Brakely plays at the New York Athletic Club. Good hands from Tafetia again, and they come wide. Lamborn just slipped as he tried to take down O'Leary. Osberger's kick. Perfectly weighted. Vast improvement from last week. This one held up with the wind too. Comes down to Mikey Teo. Lamborn's with him. Teo takes it on himself. Mikey Teo, they just get his jersey. Quick hands from the US. Audsley, they're flying, but he gets the flick away. Dolan on the far side. It's got Mattias cutting back in. Ryan Mattias. Mattias stepping, keep the change. Try time. The United States. A small lull in play, and then the counter-attack goes wide. Skills to burn. Audsley involved. Mattias scores a classic.
Yeah, how about that debut pass from Dylan Audsley? A nice little flick of the wrist, set on a 3-0 on the outside. And Ryan Mattias has so much gas on that wing. Look at the afterburners kick in right there. And I think that was Will McGee just pointed the post. It might have been Nate Augsburger. Said, you got it. Good try by the United States. Yeah, Ryan Mattias, I really like the way he's really developed on that wing for this U.S. team. A real danger man when he gets ball in hand. That was good work by the U.S. Cam Dolan started getting that difficult ball off that scrum, kept the pressure on.
Conversion successful, 14-0. That was a carbon copy movement what we saw in San Diego at the Rugby World Cup qualifiers when Mattias broke out, except this time he didn't give it to Osberger in support. He finished it. 2 tries already on the board for the U.S. And Ryan Mattias with that bandage around his head. And he's turning into a local hero. Made his debut 2 years ago against Chile. And he has 8 Sevens World Series tournaments under his belt as well.
Yeah, Canada's got to pick it up, keep that pressure on the United States. They haven't been inside the 22-meter line yet.
This one goes deep. It falls to Osberger. Low driving kick from Ayres. Work out nicely.
Yeah, they'll take that. That's a good yardage pickup. The lineout's been effective for the United States, and again, puts this pressure right back on Canada. And even the passing in this wind is difficult. We saw a couple of floating passes by the Eagles that allowed the Canadian defense to come up quickly. So every pass is being affected by this wind as well as the kicks.
Ray Bockwell loses that line out, so they're 1-1 from that set piece. Camisets goes back to collect it. He's done well, wrestles with them. Not unfamiliar in the African safari. This one's play on. Teo jumps and loses this one. So it falls to the Canadian side. Giuseppe Detoy, the South African, turning out here for Canada. Amsatelli almost had a go at that. Vanamava from the base. Rumble, the 22-year-old. One quicker ball to the Canadians. They like to keep it in hand. Strong contact there from Nate Brakely on Blevins. And now, beautiful dummy offload. Dicic Vanamava. The 2 veterans. Mack and Vanamava working together just outside the 22. Better stuff here from the Canadians. Jake Gilnicki, 25-year-old, running onto this one as well. Blevins, wide ball, that kick almost worked out. Campbell snaffles onto this one. Turnover for the US. Teo. He's got big Lamasatelli with him. Now the box kick from Osberger. Parfrey reads it well. Nice ankle tap there from Dylan Audsley. Both sides showing some real promise in this opening 20 minutes.
Back.
Van der Merwe. This time that gap closes.
Back, please.
Flat wide ball for Josh Larson, the man from Northland. De Toy, yet again, very active so far, the Canadian centres. O'Leary, quick wide ball. Canada posing some real threats out wide. Audsley holding on for dear life. Ilnicki into Dolan. And now Sears Duru with the dummy run on that occasion. Open up a bit of space and then thunderous hit there to Fatea. O'Leary chips it over the top. Tail will win this race pretty easily. But Canada will win the territory.
But you can't give up on those kicks. That ball almost came back in the field of play. He has some massive hits. There's Joe Tafatae in the midfield for this U.S. squad. Again, he packs a lot of punch. 270, 280 pounds as your hooker out there. Fantastic work by the big Belmont Shore player.
So Ray Barkwell today is the 5th oldest player to represent the Canadian side. 37 years young, 167 days. They get them all going.
Attention.
Canada surge with the ball inside the 22. Back. Quick ball is where they exploit some mismatches against the US. They loop around to the left-hand side. Lucas Rumble again takes it into contact. US are contesting at the breakdown. Still have not seen a penalty yet. Both sides keeping their discipline. Sears Duru loves that jump step. He often asks why he's not in the Sevens World Series with a jump like that. Rumble. Good offload from Ilnicki, just transferring it to Campbell. Now Matt Heaton celebrating his 25th birthday yesterday. Still with Canada, phase after phase. Sears Duru, big collision with his opposite number, Lamasatelli, and now Van der Merwe. So dangerous in open play. But he's clogged up in midfield.
He's on your feet, he's on your feet. Yeah.
Finally, slow ball for Barkwell. Wide flat balls always needed. Allowed time though, the loopy pass for Scully to get in position. Parfrey nowhere through for the fullback. And now Sears Duru, nice angle. Very patient passage of play from Canada. They want to open their account. Do it in a positive style as well. Over the line, Lucas Rumble. All the players are bunched in really tight. They go wide, quick hands, they'll score in the corner! Yes. Sublime skill. DTH Van der Merwe with a pass, and Patrick Parfrey gets the opening score for Canada. They're on the board with 5 of their own.
Yeah, that was fantastic patience by the Canadian players inside the 22. They finally got inside that Eagles end of the field and showed great patience. Phil Mack, again, the linchpin on a lot of the movements, trying to find some holes in this U.S. Eagle defense. And finally on the outside, good quick hands by TTH. Look at that beautiful pass. Nicely weighted out to Pat Parfrey, who scores the try to get Canada right back in this ball game. That was important. That was an important passage of play. If the U.S. could have kept them out, would have demoralized the Canadians a little bit more, but that was a great reply by the Canadians.
It certainly was. 4th try for the fullback in his career. Made his debut actually against the United States in 2013 in Edmonton. Good time to strike for the visitors. Attempted conversion from Brock Stoller, a 25-year-old. With this breeze. Certainly a tough ask. Stoller looking to curl that one in beautifully. It's over! 14-7. Dan, how are conditions down that side?
Conditions still the same down here, Dallin. And Brian Visit, let me just give you a round of applause. You said Van der Merwe, he's the key for the comeback Canada. He must have had 6 or 7 touches with gain in that last set through the Canadian side. He has liberties here on the wing. He's not out on this left wing very much. There he was playing at centre, provided the pass to the fullback to score, and he's linking very nicely with Phil Mack around the ruck. Something to watch as this game progresses and the legs get a little tired.
Nice take there from Canada. Bit of momentum for them. Through Giuseppe Dutoit. Nice ability to move the ball from contact to contact. O'Leary, he didn't want Campbell. Stuck in midfield as the fly half. Such a great work rate as Lucas Rumble yet again. He takes it to the line. Sears Duru. Goes into Tony Lambourne. Little gap starting to appear at ruck time. Just around the fringes. They explored that a bit earlier, did Canada. And now they get to the 10-metre mark. Neil Nicky. His debut 2013 as well. This time against Georgia as they go wide. Canada. Dutoit gets a switch. Stoller, well handled though. The US defensive line holds strong. Heaton again. Good behind the back ball, opens up a little bit of space here for Canada. Parfrey. Scully jumps all over him. Had advantage for a high tackle from the US. It'll be the first penalty of the game. Strong contact there on Carl Bailey. Come back for no advantage.
No, sorry.
Can we take the
Okay, I go. Here?
They're going to come back for that full arm penalty. I think it was a high tackle on Blaine Scully.
High tackle.
Nothing dangerous about it, but this is going to give Canada, again, a little bit more confidence boost. And Phil Mack is the one who's kind of leading this resurgence for this Canadian squad. He's probing right around the ruck, right around the edges in the U.S. in tight, and finding some areas where he can put some of his players in the clear, and they've done well to keep those hands free, keeping that momentum going for this Canadian team.
More red? Yeah.
There's the high tackle on Scully. Yeah, just got a little bit around the neck. Again, nothing dangerous. It's always going to be tough kicking into this breeze. It was a full arm. They only picked up about 20 meters, but again, they kept that ball low. It's still going to be Canadian put in, and you can feel the momentum changing a little bit here for this Canadian squad.
Yeah, certainly playing with a lot more confidence. Taking at the front. Now Mack has got Van der Merwe with him. Stutter step by the wing three-quarter. Made his debut back in 2006 against Barbados, scoring a couple tries off the bench. Still going strong here in his 50th outing. Now they change direction yet again. That pass looked very flat. Dutoit received that from Blevins. And now Sears Duru yet again. Such a high work rate for a front row forward.
Holding
this time. Canada get penalised for holding on, and pats all round for the US. Strong defence.
Yeah, Cam Dolan, the one who's got the most of the pats, and Joe Tafate was also in on that tackle. They'll get to clear their lines now. But Canada looks pretty dangerous. The centers that Kingsley Jones talked about played very well in the 2 games against Uruguay. Nick Blevins and Giuseppe Dutoit. There's that kick and a touch. Maybe not the best effort by Will McGee. Only picked up about 10 meters. Probably could have picked up a lot more. I see there's Cam Dolan on his feet, trying to get that ball away.
10, please, 10. I know.
Tafatea goes to Savetta. Ball's knocked on though. Untidy at line out time. They won't be happy with that, will the US?
Now giving possession right back to Canada. Let them continue to get a little bit more confidence, keep the momentum going forward.
So not gone. Scrum here. Scrum not going in, line out.
And they have found a little bit of room in that U.S. defense. When they get it out wide, it looks like it's open a couple of times for this Canadian team.
Yeah, Canada coming off 2 losses against Uruguay in the Rugby World Cup qualifiers for the America's #2 slot. So they will play in November repechage tournament. We'll see their fate if they can make the World Cup in 2019. So looking to bounce back this weekend are men from North America. Phil Mack, inspirational captain, keeps it in. Now he gets drifting wide. Van der Merwe off the left wing, bumps one. Just outside the 22. Canada playing a high tempo off that scrum. Campbell helping out at 8. Beautiful loop around that far side. Stoller. Blevins was the one with a nice touch. Canada switching gears. That one they've lost though, so US will get a chance to kick down from inside their 22.
Boy, catching their breath here on defense as well. Canada looks extremely dangerous with those little loop arounds in the back line as you described. I nearly put them away that last time on that outside. And here's the little juggle. Yep, it knocked on and then it went back to a Canadian player. Good call by the referee. Bringing it back for a U.S. scrum. Important put in here for the United States. Do they kick? Do they run out of here? But first things first, they got to get clean possession.
Crouch.
Yep, 30 minutes gone, 14-7, 2 tries to 1. The US lead. Second game in charge for Gary Gold, man from Cape Town, product of Weinberg Boys High School, coach Western Province and the Sharks. Then London Irish and Newcastle Falcons and Bath. Meanwhile, Dolan, what a breakout, gets the flick pass. Bryce Campbell on his shoulder. Buying time for supporters to arrive. It's the US breaking out for their own line. McGee puts it to the foot. This one will sit up though for Parfrey, the Canadian side. Canada looking to slow things down now that they've got back to support. Neil Nicky has some runners with him. Barkwell's another one. Nicky plays in the Newcastle Falcons in the UK. Mack baying for a penalty, which he gets.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that could happen for the U.S. Just allow Canada to clear out of danger here, not rolling away. Dino Waldron, one of the last to get up. Also saw Dylan Audsley in that pile up. But you don't want to give possession away if you're the Eagles. And there's a drive ahead, yeah. There's it goes to the floor. Dino Waldron and Dylan Audsley both on the floor. Canada does pick up some pretty good territory again, wanting to try to get on the scoreboard once more before the half. Hasn't been easy, but they have looked dangerous the last 10 or 15 minutes with ball in hand.
Yeah, Canada certainly lifted for the battle against the US, and that's another good line-out take as Blevins takes it to the line. Gets up the advantage.
Perfect. Release now on the floor now. No.
Mack goes wide. O'Leary, flat ball, Stoller on the outside. Knocks down a couple, but Teo has him around the bootstraps. Campbell. Canada looking to inject himself here. Larson. First half ticks away. 7 minutes to go. 7 points the difference. O'Leary, flat ball. Big contact on Detroit. And the US have come away with this one for some aggressive defense.
And that Canadian pass might have been a little bit too hard in close quarters like that. Very difficult ball to handle. I think it was just Giuseppe Detroit that couldn't bring that ball down. And the US catch a break here just in front of their poles, about 10 meters out. Yeah, that was after the knock-on already occurred. So the United States, again, looking for that good scrum ball. We saw Cam Dolan on that last scrum make a nice break, picked up some really good territory.
He certainly did. Such a live wire, Cam Dolan.
Crouch.
Debut against Fiji in 2013. 7 tries to his name, earning his 31st cap today. Teo is on the left if needed. Dolan again picks up at the back.
Rock, no hands, no hands.
Canada told to leave it as Teo comes in a 9. Position he's well familiar with. Will McGee from London, England, uses that win tremendously, comes down to Van der Merwe. What a take. The winger sets off on another run, couple of steps to the 10-meter line. Bailey drops the shoulder, another aggressive carry from the lock. US come flying up, but they don't stop Lucas Rumble. Siasduru spots a gap and gets hit hard again. Tafate again with a shoulder. He's got to roll away now. Mack tries to engage the fringe defenders. Van der Merwe cuts back in off the wing. Drops the shoulder. US dropping off a couple of tackles here. Won't be happy, and that's a leg in there. In fact, it was from Nate Orsberger. Referee's playing on just for the mark. I think the US got lucky there with a boot.
I think they did well, but a good heads-up play by Mike Teo. He kept playing to the whistle and made a nice over-the-shoulder mark with pressure on him. Yeah, I think that's turnover ball, though, right? That was a mark. Yeah, it's going to be a Canadian put-in. Just tried to pick up some territory, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, Canadians look really dangerous down with ball in hand on the outside. They're trying to create some overloads on the outside. They certainly have done so.
Time off. Time off. Time off, please.
We're actually going to go to Mark Nelson, the television match official.
Yeah, I think they're going to come back to that last foot in. Possibly. Is it too late for that? With a free kick already taken.
This is the last look at it.
Well, there's the big hit. Now let's see when this ball comes out. When Mack tries to pass it, look for the red jersey number 9. Well, it's after that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they got to keep the film rolling here. It's when Mack tries.
It could be reviewing the tackle, which was totally fine in the end.
Boy, I don't know about that. If that's what they're looking for, Hermesheis with a high tackle, I'm not sure about that. I'd say play on myself.
Yeah, I'd rather look for that boot there from Orsberger. Yeah. That was tricky, very sneaky stuff.
Can we have it again, please? The first angle.
And Down, you mentioned the Canadians losing those 2 games to Uruguay. And in talking to Kingsley Jones, the travel that the Canadians have undergone has been unbelievably brutal. They played in Canada, the first game. Then they went down to Uruguay. 3 flights later, they arrive in Sacramento on Monday. They play in Vancouver next week. And then the Sunday after that game, 4 flights later, they arrive in Argentina on Tuesday. Not only is the travel just wear and tear on you, but the missed training days. I mean, they have a lot going against them in the Canadian team.
Yeah, it certainly adds up. It does, and then you need to be at your best for fixtures like this. This is Khamesses coming over the top. Nothing really in it from our angle here.
I don't see anything there.
And only a warning, okay?
Huh. They're going to ping him, though.
Okay.
They're going to give him a warning.
Do you copy?
Okay, we got this.
Okay. Let's check it.
You know, it kind of reminds me of that game in San Diego in July. Remember, there was a really close game, and then it looked like the Canadians were going to have a scrum or a penalty down deep in the United States end of the field, but it was a yellow card offense on their own half. The U.S. scored 3 tries in that span while the man was in the bin, and that turned the game on its head.
Yeah, it certainly does, any sort of card here. So look at number 6, Hanko Khamesses. That is probably dangerous with an intent with his arm going up a little bit high. Referees are very cautious about any contact with see the head.
Yeah.
Well,
there, and just a warning, okay? Okay, Mark?
If it is going to be a full arm penalty.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, looks like he's going back to that mark. It's going to be a full arm penalty for Canada. Maybe a shot at goal here for the Canadians. Run out of time here in the first half. Any points on offer? Let's see if they get it.
I'm in the mark.
Oh, it's not that close to the poles, I don't think.
5.
It's
Okay,
more like on
thanks.
the 15-meter hash. Yeah, you saw a couple of Canadian players
Right there.
pointing.
There, okay. Captain. Number 2, white, high tackle. High tackle, okay?
So tough. That's a they call it a high
Just a
tackle.
warning. Next time will be another.
Wow.
Okay? Thanks. Okay, here's Mark. Mark, Army, okay here?
Well, decision time here for Canada.
Okay, perfect.
Wind coming down here. This will certainly
Yeah.
change things. Yeah, attempted penalty here for the uprights. 3 points up for grabs. This is first off ticks away there. And a little bit of a momentum changer there, Dan Power. Seems like the power is out there for Dan. Come to him a bit later.
I don't know. There you are.
Yeah, but there's no hesitation by Phil Mack.
Here.
So a penalty attempt here for Brock Stoller. One for one so far. Man from Surrey. Such a stiff breeze coming up here, swirling around. Keeps it to the right-hand side, so the score will remain 14-7 so far. No cards issued for that high tackle. And so the US will have a chance for a dropout here.
And it's been Canadian that's winning the battles the last 10 minutes or so, Dallin, keeping the United States pinned down deep. The United States, when they have had a little bit of possession, they've given it away with a couple of kicks that went right to the Canadian players. They just have to take better care of that ball. When they have it ball in hand, they look very, very dangerous. But just those little mess-ups that are allowing this Canadian team to continue to keep the United States in their own end.
Deep kick. Mack is here to receive it. Parfrey in support. Looks to shift it, and then a couple of steps off his left foot.
Back. Advantage.
Larson loses that one. The US will have a chance to attack here as the half ticks away.
Yeah, the big second row just took his eye off that ball, looked at the defense ahead of him. And now the United States looking for one last foray here before the half ends. There you see it right in his belly. Couldn't bring it down. What did the United States here? Cam Dolan, we've seen him make a couple of breaks off that weak side. Important they finish this half strong. Try to get some more points on the board. 7 points with this win against them is not enough, I don't think, in the second half. They need to put another few points on at least.
So 5 out of 5 so far for scrum wins for the US.
Stay.
Keep that record intact. Osberger picks it up at the back with Teo. Just trying to change direction there. Off the right foot.
Perfect. Release.
Nate Osberger is giving an absolute mouthful there. And Mack seems to have ripped this away for the Canadian side. And then Jameses wins it back for the US. They come down to Scully, captain, under all sorts of pressure. Matt Heaton on him. Tafeta goes across. Bockwell has him. McGee has got a big Lamasatelli arranging up on that one. Blevins finally brings him to the deck. Front foot stuff for the United States. And then Mack with a sniping tackle on Nate Brakely. Savetta, his lock partner. Looking to change direction is Lamasatelli. Active game so far has the front row player. Now Audsley. Canadian defenses aligned very nicely on both sides. Savetta, though, gets a few extra meters with a good leg drive. They go wide. Lambourne into open space again. Beautiful switch to Cam Dolan. Dolan flicks it out. Augsburger was in support. It was just too low. Great interplay between the loose forwards. Canada pick this one up though. Barkwell. Well inside his 22. US will be eager to turn this ball over. Worked so.
Yep.
O'Leary puts it at the back. He knows it's going to bring up the halftime whistle, and it does. A very entertaining first 40 minutes here, Sacramento. And it's the United States that lead Canada 14 points to 7 here at Papa Murphy's Park. We're going to take a short break and come back with highlights and interviews. Stay with us. It's the US 14, Canada 7.
So what do we got here?
Please direct your attention to the
next
field
two?
now for today's Rookie Rugby halftime show brought to you by
What's the
World
segment
Rugby
like?
Shop.
Oh.
World Rugby Shop is a proud partner of USA Rugby and long-standing supporter of youth rugby across America. These teams are from Rugby NorCal and include Sierra Foothills and Land Park. Visit NorCalRugby.org to learn more today.
I know one's in one and one's in the other. Like, we narrowed it down. Just wait a minute. You'll find something.
It's a festive occasion here at Papa Murphy's Park in Northern California. The kids from Sierra Footballs and Land Park have come out to support, and so have the families here. It's the United States that lead 14-7 against Canada as the youngsters throw it around here in tricky, windy conditions. But that certainly hasn't affected the first 40 minutes of play. Set pieces have been excellent from both sides as these rookie rugby legends carve it up. 3 tries so far in the first 40 minutes. We'll take a look at them in just a moment as we take a look at a quick little goose step here on the outside. Number 9 has it right now, holding it up for the opposition. They've turned that over. Highlight started off with a flurry with the US though. Early ball it was for the forward pack. Taking it wide was Campbell, and then the ever-present young Nate Olsberger picks up, spots a big gap, dots down the short side, and scores the first try.
And the United States kept that momentum up in the 15-minute. Ryan Mattias cuts back inside against the grain, gets a little guidance from Augsburger to the goalpost to make it 14-0 for the United States at that time. But Canada with a strong fight back in that second 20 minutes of play. They looked very good with ball in hand. A quick pass from ETH van der Merwe to Pat Parfrey makes it a 14-7 ball game. Still anybody's contest, and we're looking forward to an exciting second 40.
We can take a short break, and we'll return with Captain Blaine Scully. It's the United States 14, Canada 7 after 40 minutes. Welcome back to the home of the Sacramento Republic FC. And we have switched out the soccer ball for Oval 1. And with it, the United States lead Canada 14-7 here in Northern California. Early today, Dan Power caught up with the man who attended Jesuit High School not far from here.
Moving up the coast of Sacramento this week, logistically, how's it been? Not only having players domestically coming into camp, but all over the globe coming in. How have you handled it? How has Gary handled it? And how have you built on this week from last week?
I think it's just one of the challenges of international rugby. So we have a short period of time together to try to get ready to compete, and I think for the most part we've done a pretty good job of that. It's a lot of different players coming from a lot of different clubs and systems, and our challenge is to get as connected and as ready as possible for Saturday.
Always a big game against Canada, rivalry game. You've played 8 times, lost 5, won 3, but you've had the run of luck lately. How have you felt the build-up this game's been, especially playing in your hometown of Sacramento?
Yeah, I think it's still a business trip, so we're just focusing on what we can control, which is the next most important thing, and our job at hand, and just try to get better every day. So we had a lot of learnings from last week against Argentina, and some things we did well and some things we could improve on. So we were focused on that, and we know the type of team Canada is and what they can bring, and they have threats across the field, so we're going to have to be on it today.
A big second half awaits us here on the West Coast. Will Canada be able to upset the United States in the America's Rugby Championship? Well, we'll have to find out after the break. It's 14-7. Stay with us.
The ARC is brought to you by Emirates Airline. Fly Emirates. Hello tomorrow.
Risk and uncertainty are growing in global markets. Complexity is the problem. Trust is the solution. UL's third-party testing helps unlock the power of trust. Trust to drive certainty in the world's most complex markets. Trust to increase confidence and safety, security, sustainability, and success. UL, empowering trust in a complex world.
Don't forget to stop by the West Merchandise Stand to buy your USA Rugby gear today.
Welcome back here to the second half action, about to start off. And of course, having a huge impact in this game will be the super subs coming off the bench.
They certainly will. They made an impact last week when they came on. There's Sean Davies. He's looking for him to add a spark. If he comes in at fly half, Ben Landry, Big Ben coming in off the bench. Good, solid 20-30 meter effort. James Hilterbrand, he had a couple of nice big runs when he came on last week. And Josh Whitby and Will Hooley, if they get on, will make their Eagle Test debuts today.
Meanwhile, Canada, plenty of youngsters on their bench. 4 players who are 20 to 21 years of age, plus experiencing Gordon McRory. They will certainly make a big impact later. And Cole Davis on debut as well. One of many players looking for a fresh start at 20 years of age. So if you're just joining us here from around the globe, welcome, and particularly welcome to our fans from Canada. And of course, those tuning in from one of the 50 states. It's the USA that lead rivals Canada 14-7 from Papa Murphy's Park in Sacramento, California. This is round 2 of the America's Rugby Championship. I'm Dallas Stafford, joining commentary by former USA Rugby captain Brian Visit, and it is Canada kickoff, Canada receive there on the left of your screen, and Will McGee for the United States gets us underway. Beautiful take from Superman Blaine Scully, straight into the action. The Eagles. Tafetia catches it over his head, brings it down nicely. US need to start well. I'm sure Coach Gary Gold has given them a stern talking to this game. Very close in the first 40. McGee, flat one across, and now Dolan, he had a big impact in the early stanza. Went to the ground, wasn't held. Good ball there to Dino Waldron, and from St. Mary's in California. Holding on the call so the US can see the first penalty in the second half.
Yeah, Dino Waldron just got a little isolated there. Good defensive effort. And again, it was Lucas Rumble. He has been all over the place for the Canadian squad, taking up ball and also making some big defensive efforts. The United States, if I was a Canadian coach and I was trailing only by 7 points with that big wind at my back in the second half, I feel pretty good about our chances. The United States cannot afford to lose any kind of possession.
Yeah, any changes at halftime, Dan?
Yeah, no changes from either side. They're going to go with the starting 15 here in the second half. The big one from the sheds, though, for Canada, execute the way you did in that last 20 minutes. They were real happy with the way they went to the sheds. For the USA, they want to increase their physicality. They felt they had the better of Canada in the first half with the physical stuff. They want to get back to that.
And here they go, Canada now. Good set piece yet again from the Maple Leafs. They attack a little bit wider here with Blevins. Strong contact him as the forwards loop around. Very impressed with Carl Bailey, London Scottish player. And now Barkwell, the veteran. Breakley has fallen on the wrong side. They have advantage to Canada. Mack decides he wants it.
And let's see if Canada takes that early shot at goal. Again, it's going to be plenty of distance here with the wind at the back. Have they made that decision yet? I'm not sure. I think they're still deciding whether they're going to do it or not. Yep, they've made that decision, I think. And Brock Stoller, we've seen him strike a beautiful conversion in that first half. Missed another one that was even a little more easy than that first attempt. But again, Canada wants to put as many points on the board as they can. And there's the Breakley not able to get away from that last ruck. Pinged, full arm penalty. And Phil Mack says, you know what, we just want that full arm right now.
Well, that breeze will certainly add to this kick here from Brock Stoller. Great addition to the side, the right winger. Made his debut against Brazil in the AOC in 2016. So Canada ranked 21st in the world, US 17th.
All right, so 2 yeses, huh? Oh, I say no.
DTH Van der Merwe looks on. His 50th outing for his country. Nicely struck. Flags are raised. First points in the second half belong to Canada. And the boot of Stoller. 14-10 the score now in favor of the United States.
Yeah, the U.S. have to change the momentum here. It's been all Canada the last 20, 30 minutes. They've taken advantage of a couple of possessions they had, and the United States cannot afford penalties here in the second half.
This one carried back in the wind. Well handled in the end by the U.S. Lamasatelli gets that ball and beautifully picked up from Tafetia. Certainly has the skills, does the hooker. Campbell. Bryce Campbell gets the fend on. Brought down to the ground by Barkwell. Jump step there and big collision for Dino Weldron. Also with the London Scottish club. McGee stabs it through, a little bit of space. Mack, excellent covering from the halfback. Just gets it away in time to Van der Merwe. He pumps this downfield. It rolls well into the 22.
Oh my, look at that.
Will it go through the back? Yes, it does. They're going to go all the way back, and that breeze now not working out for the Canadians.
Wow, what a roll that was. Just made it over that dead ball line. And good patience by Will McGee. Luckily, there was no pressure by the Canadians. He had that free time to let it roll, and it's going to come all the way back, what, about the 22-meter line? Probably inside, I think it was, where that started from. It's going to be a scrum to the United States. What a huge break that is for the Eagles. They nearly squandered possession away again. That little stab, that's 3 or 4 times he tried that little stab through, but good positioning by the Canadians have allowed that recycle. And there's the little stab, but Mack with good possession. And then there's DTH Van der Merwe that kicked that ball all the way through. So look at that, the United States just in front of the pole, split back line, scrum about 18 meters out.
Yeah, Ryan Matthews was the one that gave chase there, putting under tremendous pressure on DTH Van der Merwe.
Crouch.
Derek Summers was the assistant referee that got the mark there from the United States, assisted by Phil Ackroyd as well. So Nate Osberger wants to reset the scrum. You wouldn't know it, but looking on the log, ARC log, Canada in 5th position and the US in 2nd. These tussles really go down to the wire. So many of them have been 3 to 5 points.
They're always like this, you know, except the last few that the United States have had the upper hand. But I remember playing against the Canadians. I was 2-6 against these guys in my career against them. So we didn't really have the upper hand very often. It's great to see the U.S. With the upper hand in the last 7 games. But again, I want this rivalry to be back where it was. I mean, it was always really hard, tough-fought games.
Another scrum win for the US. McGee fires it across to Dylan Audsley. Audsley with a fan. Dolan on the short ball. Taken in quite high for the tall timber. And now Lamborn working around the fringes. He's a try-scoring machine. He's Tony Lamborn from Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. Forsberger wants his force to Luke Brown. Tafetia. Here's Dury, brings him. Lots of space to the left-hand, right-hand side. It's sniped left. Forsberger is in. Scrum off is trapped. Now they're going for the line. Are they over? Just short, says referee Gonzalez. Still there for the US to drive over. Canada are clapping for the defensive effort. Very slow to come on, and held up is the call. 5 meter scrum.
Look at the Canadians. They thought it should have been a turnover ball. It's still going to be United States put in. Held up over the line, referee Gonzalez said. So the United States keeps that pressure on. Oh, so close. I thought Joe Tafete was in for yet another try for the big hooker. It looks like we're going to have our first sub, Big Ben Landry, wearing the 19 jersey. He's looking to come on. Does he come on second row, or does he come on the flank? Probably in the second row. I would think the flankers have been very active and effective so far.
Come off.
It's going to be Brakely. Yeah, Nate Brakely's going to come off. Brakely again with a good effort. You see the locks, they swap positions. Civetta goes to the left side. Ben Landry goes to the right. He had an impact when he came on last week against the Argentinian 15. Just another big body for this U.S. squad.
Big 32 minutes for Ben Landry with the Glendale Raptors. He's invited to the NFL Seattle Seahawks 2016 training. Despite not playing football in college, such a talented athlete he is. Many of those around here. Ball at the back. Dolan controlling it. Got Forsberger on the far right-hand side. They take it to the line. Bryce Campbell. Quick looping around. There is our super sub, Ben Landry. McGee tries to get a switch. They wrap up Mateo. US still trying to wear down this Canadian defense. Create some mismatches. There's almost one of them right there, Landry. On some backs. McGee. Audsley. Big collision sandwich. Ball's turned over. Canada have pinched this one. Mack puts it high. It's not out. Ball's there for McGee. Well handled. And now Mike Teo. The jump step. Up to the traffic. He needs supporters to help him out right now. Forsberger has got Campbell with him. Lamborn. DTH from Amava brings him to the ground. Dino Waldron looking for work.
No, red, release.
McGee. And now Audsley. Quick hands. Mikey Teo, superb stuff. Captain Scully. That far right-hand side, the local man, delighting the crowds. Tafetia, with his hair waving in the wind. Mattis is far on the left-hand side here when they need him. Waldron has spilled that. He'll be filthy with himself.
Yeah, another unforced error that time. Dino Waldron couldn't bring that ball down.
Guys.
Every possession so vital, especially going against the grain here for this U.S. team. Ryan Mattias all alone on this outside. If it was detected earlier, that's when maybe that little punch through, that little kick through might have been effective.
What do we need to do to get them to release the ball on that last one?
Come on, guys.
Forward scrum time here.
Yeah, it's a big period in the game. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Canada have scored a penalty. Besides those two early tries, the US have been halted in various attempts. The Can-Am Trophy is up for grabs in this clash. It's always a prestigious one to get your hands on.
Use it, use it, use it.
Scott O'Leary runs it downfield, and that's gone too far. So the US will have attacking opportunity.
Boy, another simple mistake, and you have to figure that wind had something to do with that. That ball was into touch by about 10 or 15 meters probably. And it's United States now getting off the hook, trying to keep that pressure on this Canadian team. And if I was Canada, I would just pummel it to the corners for this U.S. squad, trying to keep that pressure on, keep the U.S. down deep.
Well, I think that's what they try to do, just a bit too much weight on it. US rolling more. Wonderful drive from the forward pack. Now Dolan, first receiver. Gets it back nicely. McGee to the line. Campbell on that switch. Thunders through as the Glendale Raptor. Dolan again looking for the loop around. Horsberger knows it needs to go wide. Khamasaits with a dummy. Henko Khamasaits for the line. The hand of Khamasaits has scored. Big Henko. The crowd erupts. And the youngster, at 21 years of age, has scored a superb try for his country.
Yeah, he and Tony Lamborn and Cam Dolan, their whole back row have been very active. And Hanko Khamasaits, when he gets ahead of steam, look at that, just 2 or 3 Canadians go right off him. He saved the game with a try, he's saving tackle last weekend, and now he lifts the United States to a 9-point lead with that try. Good, strong run by the young number 6. And they did well. Look at that. It was a 2-on-1 on the outside, but Hanko didn't need the help of his back row mate on the outside, Lamborn. And again, those guys and Bryce Campbell, all 4 of those guys have been in a lot of action, both with ball in hand and on defense today.
That is try number 3 for the USA. Henko Khamasaits with the Huns Elite in Austin, Texas. He has gone through the age ranks. Captain the US in under 20 level. His try looking to be converted by Will McGee. And this conversion is successful. 21-10. Let's go down to Dan to see if there are any changes.
Thanks, Dallin. Coach Gary Gold, living like he's from Transylvania. He's going for the jugular. He's emptied the bench here. Hooley and Davies about to go on. We saw things pick up significantly when they got on the field last week against Argentina, but the big one, Duratolo on the field now. His go-forward was absolutely critical in that win against Argentina. The try scorer, Khamasaits, he gets a rest for a well-earned effort. Gary Gold, he's playing for the win here with just 26 minutes left to go.
Here they come. Thank you, Dan. You're right, Sean Davies with that crisp service of his. And Will Hooley, man from the Bedford Blues, out of Cambridge, England. He makes his full senior debut right now. So in a full test match, congratulations to Will Hooley. Qualifies through his grandmother, who's from the United States. So Canada, what have they got left in this game? Hooley's first touch, throws a dummy. Duratolo lurking on that right side. Davies looking to find him with Waldron on the inside. Big Andrew Duratolo. Landry into a couple of bodies. Want to speed things up to the US, and they got Audsley out wide. Throws one dummy, steps in field. Dylan Audsley breaking over halfway line. Manages to keep possession. Hooley to the right-hand side. Duratolo shifts it across. This one finally ends up with Blaine Scully. Kane really starting to open up right now as Skulls gets a few extra meters. And now Dolan. The same recipe. Behind the back ball, Hooley. Audsley, they miss him twice, still going. Tails with him. Lamborn on the outside. They've created a bit of space here. Marius has 2 players on him in the end. Canada tracked across very nicely. That quick pass doesn't go to a hand, but lazy running offside play, a penalty to the US.
Oh, much better play by the United States. That try by Hako Himashais inspired this group. The confidence is high. How about the substitutions that Dan Power just talked about? All had a hand in that last movement. Will Hooley, Sean Davies, Andrew Durotalo, all those guys, Ben Landry, have played a factor in these last couple of minutes for this U.S. squad. Right back in the Canadian half, keeping that pressure on. And I really like the little dummy that Will Hooley threw right when first touch of the ball. Little dummy squirts through about 10 meters. And Dylan Audsley, his first full test. Really, really good performance so far by the youngster.
Wonderful to see these new players in the mix gain their confidence as this competition wears on. This is the last look at it. This is Marius taking into contact. Then some lazy runners here from Canada.
Yeah, Will Hooley just threw some grass up in the air. And I mean, that went all over the place. So he's got his work cut out. But again, much better passage of play by this U.S. squad. The game of rugby is so funny, the momentum can change in an instant. And that's exactly what that try by Himashais did. And you try to stem it, you try to stop it, you try to gain it, and sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Well, Will Hooley has 6 points against the Argentina 15. Not an official test. So those points will not be on the record. This, though, his first outing, first attempt, a lot of wind. Aims it to the left to try and drag it back into the right, but it stays there. Decent attempt there from Hooley, so it'll keep the Canadians pinned down in their 22.
Yeah, Will Hooley thought he had 3 points. A lot of the Eagles had 3 points. There's Canadians with a quick tap, 22.
Vandermover, look at him go, looking for that switch. Caught us all unawares, including the United States. Bockwell gets the fan going. Nicky gets missed on that occasion, and Bailey. Canada not going to the bench quite yet. Campbell moves it across field to Rumble. Rumble, 15 starts out of his 17 caps, got 2 tries so far.
Release, White.
US come flying in, they've been told to release, but been knocked on.
Oh, what a counter ruck by the U.S. I'm not sure who put a big hand in there. A couple of big forwards. Looks like Nick Civetta's getting some pats on the back. But a job well done earning that knock on. It's going to be a scrum to the U.S. now. So good reply by the U.S. forwards. Here it is. Let's see who gets it. Who gets that counter ruck? Somebody comes just flying in. Is it Lamborn? Tony Lamborn is the man who instigated that. Nick Civetta there with some late help as well. So well done forwards for the U.S.
Tony Lamborn, if you're in a street fight, you need Lamborn on your side. He can certainly shake things up.
Come off.
James Hildebrand, number 16, coming on for Joe Fatee. Hooker for Hooker. When Hildebrand came in last week, got involved on a couple of rolling balls for the U.S. squad. Very effective when he came on last week against the Argentinian 15. Bench is so important in these games nowadays. Dallin, the U.S. really took full advantage last week. Looking to do the same here again today.
They certainly do. Straight into the action. The man from the Manly Marlins, Hildebrand, born in Adelaide, Australia.
Bind. Chase on my tap. Set.
As Sean Davies looks on. Attended BYU, national champion there. 2 occasions. Davies, quick service. He has Hooley running onto it, and Audsley tries to get that switch back and goes into Mack. Civetta looping around with Landry. Gets that ball from Civetta. Really getting some good forward momentum. Hildebrand, he's the misplay on that occasion, helps out Dolan now. Hooley wants wide ball. Lamasatelli in midfield, that's a sight. Strong ball carrier is the prop. And now Teo, short angle, they get him though. Just feel the US about to bust free yet again. Landry with Durotalo on his shoulder. Civetta yet again. No rolling there from the Canadian players. Dolan pulls it to the back. Put it through the bird's been missed. Marius tries to scoop this up. Godfrey has it. And he's out.
Yeah.
He's been knocked on though.
Yep. The U.S. that time, the little squirt through, it looked like a Canadian player was going to handle it clean. He went through him. That gave Mattias a chance, the Eagles a chance. But the pressure, again, they kept it on inside that 22-meter line, forcing another knock-on by the Canadians. Did that ball go into touch first? I think a knock-on was ruled, so I think it's going, but it went into touch possibly, so is it the option? I'm not sure, but either way, it's going to be a U.S. put-in. But I like the way the impact Ben Landry has had on this game. He has really made some hard yards for this U.S. squad. There's another one who's a key figure for the U.S. I really like his delivery. Either direction, Sean Davies, very, very good delivery for this U.S. squad.
Yeah, they just add another dimension to this attacking side. Of course, Greg McWilliams is the backs coach and attack coach. And Scott Lawrence working on the defensive side of things.
And down looking at this U.S. backline, look at how stretched it out. That stretches the defense out. Even though nobody's marking Blaine Scully heads up, that's stretching that defense. Hopefully open some holes in that Canadian backline D.
Well, it certainly does. And with the width of passing that these players possess, they're able to get there pretty quickly. So Dorotalo binding down on this near side. Sevens World Series veteran.
Yeah, keep an eye on Ryan Mattias just on that inside shoulder. Will Hooley. We know how electric he is with and one-on-one situations.
So we're into the last 20 minutes of this clash. It's 3-1 so far, the US lead, this ARC battle. Super subs on for the United States. Davies tapping his players on the back. It's his 13th cap off the bench. It's the South African-born scum off. Mattias is there. The left of Hooley. Mattias first receiver. Mattias takes it to the line. Done well though. O'Leary drags him back several meters. So they reset with Landry. Ooh. Awkward fall there for the reserve forward. And Hilterbrand met with another strong contact. Phil Mack in the thick of things. The veteran scum off. Very slow ball. They finally get a penalty. Referee Gonzalez puts his hand in the air.
We heard Sean Davies all the way up here helping out the referee with that decision. It's got to be a shot at goal, I would think, here. 21-0, trying to make it a 2-score game. 14-point differential with a successful PK right here.
I realize that but check what you say, okay? You're the captain. Okay, thanks.
You heard the referee talking to Phil Mack. Yep, not releasing Will Hooley. Yep, we thought he'd go for goal here. That last one he struck it cleanly, just kept to the left of the uprights. This is much easier.
Just keeps the head down, fire this one through again. So Will Hooley represented England at the Under-20 World Rugby Championship in which they won. And here he is turning out for the United States now. Gets his first points on the board in his career. Will Hooley has 3, and the US lead Canada 24 points to 10.
Now, if you're a Canadian player, you want to keep this ball down deep, keep the pressure on the United States, but the US, they want to handle this kickoff cleanly, just work it back inside the Canadian half. They do not want to play any kind of ball inside their 50. And now here are the reserves coming on, front row reserves for the Canadians. Wearing the 18th jersey, Cole Keith, and wearing the 17th jersey, Anthony Luca. Both those players with 5 caps apiece.
Entering the match for Canada, number 17.
High kick, just needs to go the 10. Does, and Landry rips that one out of Horsley's hands. Teammates going at it. Lamasatele, high work rate. Youngest ever capped Eagle at 18 years of age. Turns 23 tomorrow, does Lamasatele. And meanwhile, it's Campbell in back play.
Perfect.
Steele there on that far side. And great catch there from DTH Vandemava. Lays it back. Canada switch from defense and not to offense. Lucas Rumble. Yet again, he's got Dorotalo on him.
Stay.
They're bringing some of their super subs. That's Anthony Luca, 2-year-old. Those are the BC Bears. O'Leary ships it across. Turning it back on the inside to Nick Blevins. Made his debut against Japan in 2009. One of the veterans earning his 47th cap today. Still available. Bockwell. He knows one way.
Release now,
That's driving down into the deck. Turnover there. Davies is all over this. Teo comes in from fullback. They don't need him. Wide ball to Mattias. Mattias goes on the outside, puts the kick in. Barfrey catches it.
Release the floor, release.
Stoller hops over a couple of players and then gets thrown to the deck. Blevins comes off the ball to Dolan. And they're having a chat there.
Boy, a lot of action in that last sequence. Ryan Mattias tried to stab it through. There was nobody back for Canada. It was a great pickup by Parfrey. Caught that on the fly, I think it was. And then there was a fight, and I thought Stoller did a great job keeping that ball in the field of play. I'm not sure what the whistle was for. I think...
Okay, I see anything. Okay, so I had foul play by 12 red. Punches one, at least one, maybe two. I'm not sure if it was provoked, and so there was something before it.
Yeah.
But there were definitely punches thrown by 12 red.
You said 12 red
Yes,
punches.
yes.
Where? Where the final destiny of the punches?
Oh, I didn't see necessarily if they connected.
We can check with Mark.
And I don't know if it was provoked, so whether there was something before that
Please, guys, please.
to check with
Okay,
as well. So,
perfect.
yes.
Perfect.
So it looks like we're going to check with our TMO, Mark Nelson, to see if there's foul play here. Looks like Nick Blevins has been called out in Cam Dolan.
And you heard the AR Ackroyd. He didn't know if he was provoked or not. So this... Okay, there's Cam Dolan. Oh, yeah, it's going to be... That could be yellow right there. He was not provoked, and Blevins threw that short punch. Ackroyd saw it. Canada, again, if that's going to be the call, that's going to be a big blow. Keep your eye on Dolan. Well, I think the punch already came, and that's the flurry afterwards. And Dolan, I don't think he threw a punch the whole time. Good discipline by Cam if that's the case. Okay, keep an eye on Nate White. And he's got Blevins. And there's the punch. That should be yellow, I think, against Blevins. And I don't think Cam...
Yeah, the punch came because Cam take that player to ground, just dropped him at a low height. There, drops the player there.
Oh yeah, but no, he's wrapping him up around their head. That's where the arm comes in. I think when Cam put his left arm around Blevins, that's when that punch came through. Again, we're up here talking.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what we say.
Give me Mark.
You say hi, Tucker.
Sorry again. Yeah.
Okay, I could have
so
this
we
whole
go
thing
back.
wrong.
If I understand, we go back for the penalty. Will be yellow card for number 8 White.
Oh,
okay?
wow.
So the tackle, Cam didn't bring the player safely to the ground.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
And that's
Wow.
why Blevins went after him, which he should never have done, of course, in the game of rugby. But
Well, I had that all wrong. And instead of a big blow for the Canadians, it's going to be a huge blow for the U.S. Cam Dolan going to spend 10 minutes in the bin. That's exactly what the Canadians were looking for, a break like that.
so U.S. down to 14 players. Here's a look at it. Cam Dolan, number 8 there, doesn't put this player
I guess
safely
so.
back on the ground.
Well, it's good conference between the AR and the referee and the TMO, and it's going to hurt the U.S. here. About 15 minutes left in this contest. Cam Dolan, who's had a really good game, goes to the bin for 10. Canadians are looking for an opportunity to get back in this game. This is it. Not a whole lot of territory picked up. Just inside the 10-meter line now. It's still going to be a Canada put in, though.
Guys, red. Number 1 red.
So
here.
the Maple Leafs looking to get back in this. They trail by 14 points. Bockwell plays with the Ontario Blues. His line-out had been stolen by Ben Landry. And Duratalo now has a crack at the defense. Lambourne pushes one aside. They're going to get that tempo back up again. Duratalo looping around. Another good fend. US doing well on the front foot, and then Canada steal this one. Mack counters of his own. Wide balls knocked on by Blevins.
Yeah, looked good up there. You saw Phil Mack, he wanted to knock on earlier. He wanted to come back to that, what he was claiming was a first offense, but referee Gonzalez wanting nothing to do with that. It's going to be a put in now for the U.S. Titi Lamositele. Looks like possibly a cramp, but that was good work there. You saw the knock on by Blevins, just couldn't handle that cleanly. But Tony Lamborn, again, flying all over. I think he had a hand in that steal in the line out. Looked like he contested, but Big Ben Landry came away with it. Titi Lamositele, again, one of the players that Gary Gold said featured in the scrums against Argentina.
Yeah, while we go down to Dan Power. I know he's pretty near to Cam Dolan. What about that lost play?
No, he's been called for the tip tackle. He's pretty upset with the call. Understandably, is Cam Dolan. Here's the big one, though. No yellow card for Blevins for the punches. He landed 3 or 4 good little short right hands there. Dolan, well, he'll admit to that. He got him on the chin there. But that's a big call in the complex of this game, Dolan. 14 minutes left to play, down to 14 for the US. Dolan will be back on with 5 minutes. Expect him to do a lot of ripping and tearing when he gets out there.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Dan just catching up there with Cam Dolan on the sideline. US down still to those 14 players. No points conceded yet. Of course, this is slow up the clock as well. Every reset of the scrum.
Yeah, exactly, Down. And I'm a firm believer in that. You kill that penalty down as much as you can. And you got to have patience when you're attacking. No more 50-50 passes right now. Just keep the ruck, keep the ball driving forward, win the possession, and then go to the next phase.
So 13 minutes left in this clash. Round 2 of the ARC. US will play Chile next week in Fullerton at Titan Stadium in California. Then they'll travel to Brazil and Uruguay to finish off the competition. Dorotalo picks it at the back. Hard running Campbell to the halfway line. Ben Landry, what an impact he's made off the bench. Hildebrand gets in the thick of things.
Release now, Red!
Canada slowing things up at the breakdown. Dorotalo knocks over another, still going. Cooley throws a wide ball. Lamborn gets smashed, but gets his pass away to Mattias. Hildebrand yet again. Canada strong so far. Red wall of defenders come up. Savetta. Cooley, bouncing kick to the toe. Maudsley is following up. Good tackle. Canada, though, come away with this one just outside the 22. Do well there. Blevins in as Phil Mack flicks this one back, and O'Leary's kick is high to Mike Teo. A counter-attack opportunity here. They come to Mattias' side. Campbell is with him. Campbell knows he's going to absorb a couple of defenders. Waldron, get him nice and low. Chris passing on the outside. Teo, but a space to operate. Mike Teo gets his pass, but it goes to Van der Merwe. And O'Leary then with a kick ahead. It might have a bit too much on this one. Doesn't it? Sits up. Hooley following back. He puts this one towards the touchline. It's not out. Van der Merwe has a crack. The winger. Beautiful timing from Phil Mack. Those two have played many a sevens tournament of the World Series. And of course, international 15s as well. Barkwell at 9. Canada, remember they have the extra player advantage.
Run away, tackler, run away!
Phil Mack looking to exploit that as they go to the left-hand side. Blevins gets his offload. Van der Merwe puts that to the ground. Advantage for Scully on that far side. Superman playing Scully, ball in one hand. Looking for a phone booth on that far right-hand side.
Go back to the advantage.
Yeah. Referee, perfect position for that forward pass call against Canada. Canada trying to get away from trouble as quick as they can. Create some opportunities on the outside, but good defense as you see more substitutions by the Canadians. 20, 21, and 22 coming on. Dustin Dabrowski, Gordon McCrory, and Robbie Povey all coming in for this Canadian team. Getting some fresh legs on these last 9 minutes of the game. 2 converted tries in arrears are the Canadians. There's a good look at the skipper, Blaine Scully. He did have a nice big run down that sideline. Just had one more player to beat. Couldn't get past him. But the United States is going to have this scrum put in. They've done a really good job so far killing off the sin bin offense by Cam Dolan. And Dan's right, when Cam comes back on with just a few minutes left, you can guarantee that he's going to be put in a barn burner of the last 5 minutes.
Put in a good 80 minutes last weekend as well. Coming on the field there also is Cole Davis on debut, 20-year-old from the Canberra Royals in Australia for the Canadian side. DTH van der Merwe moves into the outside centre position. So lots of changes for both these sides.
Bind. Set.
8 minutes to go.
Control.
24-10, the US lead.
Offside. Number 9. The ball is in scrum.
Ball's not out.
Yeah, Max tried to create something. Instead, he's just going to penalize his team. More time off the clock. And I really like Will Hooley. He looks very composed in that fly half position for the U.S. Got a good boot on him. We saw him strike a couple of good kicks at goal. That one's going to pick up about 15 meters, but he's been very, very good. A good calm head. And it's great to see the young fly halves developing here in the U.S. You got Will McGee, you got Ben Sema still in the picture, JP Eloff, you can go there. You got Will Hooley now as well. And all behind AJ McGinty when he gets healthy. So some good depth being built at that number 10.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's definitely what the U.S. needs as well. Lineouts have been very strong. It's their 12th lineout win in this clash. Landry's the recipient. Now, Hildebrand has it. He's got players all over.
Play on.
Good at counter-racking. Still stays with Durtalo and the US. Scully in now to help out. Landry pod.
Run away, release, run!
Now Hildebrand. Roll away and providing slow ball there. Really puts it to the boot again. Too much kicking, I think. Ball in hand just outside the 22. It does trap Canada down. They have to look behind their backs though.
Perfect. Release, red, release, red. Release, red. Back.
Rory in at 9. Super Sub has turned that over, and so Savannah has it now. It's come up nicely for the USA. Mattis is free on the left-hand side. Durtalo, they fire it out wide. Should be try time here. Ryan Melius. Diving is over. Shut the gates. The United States are carving it up here in Sacramento. And it's Ryan Melius that gets in the corner. A wonderful effort and bonus point for the U.S.
Yeah, good bonus point try. You saw Mattis. We saw him from up here raising. Here's the long pass by Hooley. And Mikey Teo, you knew he was going to find his winger on the outside. And Mattias again, he's scored a lot of tries over the years. University of Arizona graduate under Dave Sinton. Dots down for the U.S. his second of the day. And again, I like that bonus point for the United States. Great second half by this U.S. team, though. You know, again, playing against that wind, just a 7-point lead. They came out, they took it to the Canadians, they kept the pressure on. And that's exactly what they had to do, and I really, really like the second half effort.
Well, we thought Hooley's kick wasn't going to turn out into anything. A great turnover there on that far side. And you're right, the experience and calmness of this USA side to move the ball around led to their 4th try.
And let's not, underestimate the importance of the bench for this U.S. squad in the second half. Every one of those players who have come on, we've called their names a number of times. And Ben Landry, again, I think he's probably the one we've called the most. He has picked up some hard yards, stole a couple of lineouts, been involved in some rucks and mauls. So good effort by all the bench players. Hey, how about that?
Hooley's kick, nice strike. He'll just stay to the right-hand side. So score will remain 29 points to 10. And we're into the last 5 minutes of this game as Cam Dolan comes out of the naughty chair.
Yep.
Kick is no good, and USA's yellow card is back.
Now we saw 3 yellow cards last week. Had a bearing on that contest. But Cam Dolan's yellow card offense, I don't think, Canada, I don't think put any points on that board while Dolan was in the bin, so a great kill by the U.S.
Robbie Povey, 21-year-old from Northampton, England. Winning his 4th cap, gets the drop kick going. It's out on the full, another error.
Subjon, line out, scrum, again.
Yeah, I think Kingsley Jones, if he's going to be disappointed in one thing, mainly for this Canadian team, is not taking advantage of that win. They haven't been able to diagnose that swirling win. 3 or 4 kicks have gone out on the full. We saw that one game changer that went all the way through the back of the end goal that brought the ball all the way back for the U.S. But the United States, again, I like the forward play and the backs. We've seen the danger in the centers again. Campbell and Audsley have really had their hands in a lot of the action here for this U.S. squad today.
Certainly have another good set piece here. 3-1 so far. They've won the lineouts.
Bind!
Scrums, in fact, and so this one goes down to the ground. And while we sit up there, final words there from Dan on the sideline. Thoughts on this this clash so far?
Maybe if we do it high, okay? Yeah, okay. Okay. So discipline, go. Second thing. We go sit there. Seconds. Check. Seconds, come on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Struck one there, next down for the US, and they bring in Teo again. This one knocked. Oh, it almost looked backwards. Mattias flying onto it, though. It'll be a scrum for the Canadian side.
I'm back. Guys, come here.
Yeah, that was a proper call by referee Gonzalez. They did go forward.
Yeah. 11 wide off.
And it looks like Ryan Mattias is coming off. Josh Whippy's going to make his debut in the U.S. jersey. Congratulations to another newly capped U.S. player. And congrats to Ryan Mattias on a well-deserved rest here with just a couple of minutes left.
That's right. What a game Mattias has had. Really is electric the last couple of games. Josh Whippy, and from the Utah Warriors. Collegiate All-American in 7s and 15s. Grew up in Fiji, moved to New Zealand.
Crouch!
To BYU.
Come on, Hulu, big drop, we come on!
He's on the left wing here for the US.
No, guys.
They're going to reset the scrum yet again.
Both of you, you're inside.
That's what this competition is all about as well, getting the younger players a good opportunity at test level.
Yeah, both these teams are going to be losing a lot of their top players, professional players after this game. 8 or 9 players, I think, on each one of these squads is going to be missing from the remainder of this competition. That was one of the things Kingsley Jones was really upset about. I mean, without that international window, you got to have the games to play with your core players, and when you don't have that, it really hurts.
So a short on penalty to Canada. Here they go. Dabrowski gets things underway on debut. 26-year-old from Hanover, Germany. Canada drop it down to Connor Keys, 21-year-old. Now a bit of width. Blevins fires it on that far side. Parfrey in from fullback. Held up by Scully and Audsley.
Release now. Perfect release.
Ball available for Canada. Anthony Luca. Big tackle on him. DTH van der Merwe, he's certainly fought bravely in this clash. Holds the try record for Canada, 31 tries. Ball's been dropped by McRory, just not going their way today for the Canadians.
And you knew another, we haven't singled him out, but Civetta has really put in a lot of hard work in this game. I mean, he was in on that very last tackle we just saw, and he has been all over the place. He takes down a good line-out ball, and he's always a factor on the loose. So another good effort by Nick Civetta in that second row for the U.S.
Can you stay here?
And Dallin, it's just great to see the depth that this team is creating. In basically every one of the positions. You see the front row, the back row have been instrumental in another big win here. Scrum Master, Augsburger, and Davies have a really good rivalry going at that scrum half position. Just forcing each other to play better and better every game.
Sorry.
Hooley casually puts it out in his first test match. They have defeated Canada. It's been a wonderful effort indeed. 40 years of history between these two great nations, and it's the 5th consecutive year that the USA holds strong. 29 points to 10. We're going to be right back with highlights and interviews from Papa Murphy's Park in Sacramento, California. Congratulations to the United States in round 2 of the ARC.